Yo, what's good? It's Mastermind MMA, and I'm here with the homie Dan, aka MMA from the Heartland. What's going on, brother?
What up, man?
None, man. We were just like pretty much just chopping it up before we got on here, just about a bunch of stuff. So about the fights and shit. So where do you want to hop on? Where do you want to start?
Um, let's start with did Chiesa Diego open it up?
What'd you say? You said Chiesa?
Yeah, did Diego and Chiesa were they the first fight?
Yeah, they were. They were.
Well, fuck it.
You want to start there?
Yeah, sounds good to me. Dude, what a domination of fucking just overall grappling against a fucking grappler, you know?
Yeah,
Like he could beat Diego and without like the cool trash talk and smash face.
Yeah, I feel like yeah, Diego is just like really like old in the tooth, as they say, and like yeah, like Chiesa, like it was really impressive because Diego's game is like ground game is like incredible, and he like Diego like he showed that like the scrambles, it was like a decent fun fight, but like when it comes to like a real technical jits like grappling scramble sweep aspect of it, but like I feel like Chiesa is just like yeah, like that Condit submission is pretty impressive, but Condit was like kind of just like not really there mentally, and like we haven't even seen him since, and like I feel like we need to see him against like someone like at a higher tier before like I'm big on him, and I feel like honestly like if you got like yeah I get like proving like you're better at Diego in the ground, but I feel like in like your first fight on the main card of UFC Fight Week, like, dude, imagine if he was the one to set off the momentum, like of the like not like how like because Jan Blacowichz was the one to set off the momentum of like making that fight card incredible. Like, dude, Michael Chiesa with like he really with his skill set and his age advantage, like being so much younger, he should have been the one to set it off like in spectacular fashion, like that. Like I don't really like. I feel like with all respect to Diego, I feel like Chiesa it almost kind of hurt Chiesa that he couldn't like have like a real like spectacular like almost a showcase, you know what I mean? Like cuz it's almost setting it up for a showcase like the matchup wise.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think that had Chiesa finished him, like he would have gotten a top 10, no questions asked. But it was like when you have such an exciting card, like whether a dominant performance or not. I mean, you're like a 30-26 card against him and stuff like that. Like regardless of how dominant that is, when there's a card that produces like knockout, 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 it just gets swept under the rug.
100%.
Like he's not gonna get like a really like exciting, favorable matchup. Like he might like I texted you previously, and it's something that Kel Simon said like a Kevin Lee rematch at 170 would be quite fun to watch.
Yeah, and it makes sense because of the controversial stoppage or whatever, and kind of they're both of their positions in their career like honestly kind of like where Kevin like what like rose to the top and now he's kind of like fallen back down, and Chiesa's kind of coming back. What'd you say?
They would merge well.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Exactly how you're saying. Like they're kind of both going in that same direction.
Exactly. So it's a good meeting point and a good like place for like it just makes sense overall. Yeah, like 100%. Like in all aspects, that's like probably what should be the next matchup for them.
I agree 100%.
And now, dude, we gotta set up. We gotta talk about fucking the first Nostradamus fight of the night that we called fucking Luke, a good old dry salty Luke Rockhold getting knocked the fuck out once again like we predicted.
Dude, 100%. And it's actually like it was actually something kind of an easy prediction because like Left Hook Larry laid the blueprint and like put it worldwide. Like everybody knows you drop your hand, and you would think that after all these years and caught again, and like through all that, let your ego go and drill like tying your fucking hands up, and like just practice in that way.
Right, dude? Like, honestly, bro, like we were talking about it, and like literally we just called it because like, and it wasn't just like, oh, we're being a hater or anything. We laid out exactly why he was gonna get knocked out, because he's so arrogant, and like in these match, like Bisping should have taught him a lesson. He didn't learn the lesson. David Branch should have taught him a lesson. Didn't learn a lesson, because he thought he was really taking that David Branch fight as a tune-up fight and a warm-up fight, that he was like, oh, it's a gimme. I'm just going to piece this fool up real quick and then just like get the ring rust off. He gets clipped up with a fucking 5-piece family meal, and then fucking almost like gets knocked out again. And then he gets his top game, and he seals the deal. But like, bro, like you constantly overlook people, and like Yoel knocked him the fuck out with the left hook, and it's like, bro, I don't know how after Bisping this motherfucker is still hands low, chin up. Like you remember in the one
after he got dropped in the fucking first round. I mean, it's the same thing.
Right.
Like in your corner, you're not, dude, keep your fucking hand up. Like that's not anything in your mind at all. Like, you just got caught by that shit, dude. Then you get caught by it again.
Like how fucking Edmund was screaming, head movement. I would be screaming, hands up, chin down, like hands up.
Dude, somebody, that's the easiest fucking target. Like, I don't know. It's a massive technical error in his game. Just massive hole. And dude, if they're at this level, you can't have like holes like that you don't fix, or this is what happens.
Exactly, dude. It'd be like, dude, it would be like if for the next like 3 to 4 fights, Ben Askren starts the fights by just shooting in for a double leg.
Yeah.
And he gets knocked out with a flying knee every time. Like,
every fucking time.
Right? It'd be like,
and all the while he's talking shit, talking about how he's just gonna be, how he just has to show up. He never gets dropped in the gym. He's fucking, my favorite videos, well, I shouldn't say my favorite, but videos I've really been enjoying in the past couple days are the videos of Luke talking shit before the fight, and then the highlights of the fight.
Dude, I know. I was watching like a bunch of those for Jorge and Ben, like when shit talking goes wrong.
That one too.
Oh my gosh, dude, fucking. But bro, like that head kick, and like that fuck in the first round, and then bro, the left hook, and like, dude, like, all right, so like when I was watching it, I think like you were a couple minutes ahead of me, right? And then so like, and I was telling you about it, like, because like you texted me and you're like, bro, that was like exactly like how we fucking called it and exactly what we said. And I literally thought you were talking about when he got dropped by the head kick, right? And I was like, yeah, I literally thought you were talking about it, because I was like, well, what is he talking about? Like, I was like, is he talking about the head kick? Like, I was like, yeah, like we knew like Luke was going to get pieced up, and like literally like as I'm thinking this and like trying to like put it all together, I just see Luke get knocked out. I'm like, oh fuck, that's what he's talking about. Like, and then
dude, right on the end of it, fucking. Like, that's so funny watching Luke Paul, because you could just see like just the life fucking, like, just that look of like, I can't believe this is happening to me. Like, this can't be happening to me.
Oh my gosh, dude. And it was so crazy because like you remember like he was like getting up and he just like was just like looking all disheveled and his mouth is open, and like when you find out his jaw was fucking broken. And then when you look and like you go back and look at the video, I went back and watched, bro. His jaw is literally hanging open because like Jan cracked that shit so it couldn't close. I was like, oh my! And like the way you look, it's open. You see that shit, and I'm like, oh fuck! Like,
dude, he cracked that shit like a walnut,
bro. That is like oh my, like dude, that is brutal. Like, bro, when they say like you don't have a chin,
like plates and screws and shit to hold that back together.
Right, dude. Like, bro, he literally fucking broke your jaw, dog. Like,
dude, just think of this, dude. Like, if they have to do like plates and screws and shit, at least some type of a scar. Like, not only did Jan fucking ruin his MMA career and, like, knock him out in a way that doesn't make sense for him to come back at this point, but he also fucked up his modeling career if he fucked up his face.
He just fucked up Luke's whole livelihood.
Karma is an undefeated bitch.
Dude, it's crazy because, like, it's like, it's insane. Like, bro, fucking Luke, he makes the same mistakes and he does himself no favors because honestly, he should do what Floyd Mayweather does. And because, like, if you listen to Floyd, like, before any of his opponents, dude, he always talks about how good of a fighter they are, right? And he always talks about how they're the biggest challenge out there and they're the best ones and da-da-da-da-da. And it makes so much sense because when you really, really think about it, it's like, dude, if Floyd Mayweather loses, he basically was talking about how good this fighter is, and then he's, like, sets himself up.
100%.
And if he wins, he's like, dude, I told you I beat an amazing fighter, which makes me even better. So
yeah, dude, 100%.
And Luke just like, nope, dude. You know, like literally, I'm about to.
Dude, exactly. He does himself a disservice even if he wins.
Right.
You know, like when they're talking about Bisbee and shit, you know, like, I mean, dude, that couldn't have been like the worst career move. You know, like 100% altogether, but. Like, you would almost think that you would learn from that, you know? Like, dude, that's as high of a level as it's going to get. And you have to eat your words like that. And then at the post-press conference, dude, he just tears you apart. And, like, that humiliation doesn't, like, set into, like, this will never fucking happen again. You know, like, you don't change any of it. Like, just down the same road, same knockout.
It's like he made zero adjustment in every aspect. Like, no changes in every single aspect. And it's like, dude, like, you're literally digging your own grave. Literally.
Dude, you know what I bet it is? You know, like, you know how it is, like, when people that know you're a fighter, but don't know anything about fighting, they just think you're, like, the toughest fucking shit ever. Can you imagine how he gets blown around Ralph Lauren? And, like, how they just pump his fucking ego so fucking solid? Like, I bet you that has so much to do with it.
I know. Dude, honestly, bro, like, honestly, now that you put it in that perspective, like, I never even really looked at it that way, but it makes so much sense because, like, dude, like, everyone around him is probably just gassing him up. You're so fucking right, dude. Wow. I think you just fucking got it right on the nail. The root of Luke's problem, what's causing it.
Dude, you can't, unless you're like a mindset like an Alan Joban, where like he's a fighter, then a model. Mm-hmm. You know, Luke's like, I'm a model and I'm a fighter. You know?
And
like, he likes like all the highlights and the glory of it, like all the accolades of it, you know?
I know, dude. And it's like, and the thing is, like, Alan, it like exactly you said, he's like a fighter and a model, and like, but he's like a fighter first. And the thing is, like, Alan is really the dude that fucking set that blueprint of like, all right, I'm a Versace model and a fighter. And then Luke was just like, well, everyone tells me I'm so good looking and a model. I'm just gonna. He literally got Alan Joban's manager, dude, to get him, like, to sign him for modeling. So he's literally like, oh, everyone tells me I'm good looking, I should be a model. So let me get the same guy and copy his shit and just do this.
Dude, hey, I would bet you, like, alright, so I've heard some of Luke's, like, past interviews, like, he's been dumb the whole time. Like, he's always just been kind of a dumb person. But, like, I would bet that you could find interviews and, like, see the transformation of the arrogance around the time he started being a model.
Yeah, dude, you're right. And honestly, you're pretty right, because there's like, and like, honestly, it's probably almost like the same shit like Brendan Schaub was going through, like fucking like when he got, like, after Joe Rogan verbally retired him, fucking, and like you saw like cuz you watched their shit back then, right? Like that shit, like, and like how the fucking you'd see him like just overcompensating. Yeah, just like just overcompensating, being a lot more passive aggressive, and like just, and then it just like turned him to like the massive douche that he's in, and like you see the mind state is just like he can't deal with like the criticism, and like even if there are haters out there, it's like he can't look past that to see the true critique to improve, which is drives them to like this more like ignorant, like dismissive state, which leads ultimately like leads to their demise, really, like eventually.
Yeah. Like, dude, he made a drastic change when he started that whole Showtime thing. Like, major fucking difference.
Oh my god, dude, I am physically ill. I am fucking sick thinking of that piece of shit stand-up that he put out, bro. It's like, it's like entertaining because it's so fucking bad, and it's like it's entertaining and like in the same aspect of like if you're not a fan of him and you like watch him getting knocked out, it's like the equivalent of that.
I just think he has a bunch of net writers. Like, there's like this, I don't know, like this type of trending type of, I don't know, like just a kind of asshole that finds that kind of, like, I don't, I've never, like, the way that him and Brian Callen mesh, like, I've never really, like, got into that type of, like, pompous comedy, you know, like, I don't know.
I know. My bad.
Fuck those guys. Fuck those guys.
I know. Fuck them.
Motherfucking Askren Masvidal decapitation.
All right, dude. Right before we hop into this, give me 1 second. I need to help take my dog out for 1 second. All right. All right. Yeah. Now we're back. As we said, fuck those guys. Masvidal, motherfucking Askren.
Now I gotta interrupt you. You're not gonna. It's not even going to come off right coming from you because it's going to sound like you're gloating. So I'm going to do it for you. Dude, the fucking mystic mastermind over here, like, talking back and forth about the Askren fight and, like, what we think is going to happen in the chat and predictions and everything. And that's, like, my request is it should be the thumbnail for, like, the millennial because it's so fucking on point. So his prediction to me was, I hope Jorge, and I'm going to try to get this as word for word as possible, but it's something like, I hope Jorge runs across the cage and flying knee knocks out Askren in like 5 seconds. That was the text, and like he sent it back to me like it's like fucking word for word, 100% like to the second prediction. Unfucking believable.
Dude, like I know, like that shit was so fucking wild, dude. Like I was just like. Cause like I did like a quick like just a quick video earlier that I didn't upload yet, fucking where I was just like talking like real quick about like the thoughts on Ben and Jorge, but I was just like I was saying in that, dude, like literally like when it happened, like I stood up, I was just like processing and I was like holy shit, and then it like literally just like hit me like right then. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, this is literally what I was talking to Dan about. Holy shit, like, and then like as soon as that happened, I just like literally opened up the phone and I was like scrolling, like trying to look for the text, and then I saw it, and then I was like, oh, and then I screenshot it, and then I sent it to you, and then I was like, damn, dude, that was crazy. I can't believe like how it was. And then I thought it was like a 2 second or like 3 second thing, but like when they officially called it for 5 seconds, and then in the text I was like, oh, I hope he like flying knee KOs him in like 5 seconds. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, like that was wild.
Dude, they're playing like all these things, like the video of Jorge practicing it and showing the text of Dustin saying, yeah, they said that he's gonna start with the flying knee tonight, haha. Like, that's not like really a prediction. That's like saying, okay, here's the game plan. This is what we're practicing. No more different thing. You know, a slip counter or whatever it may be. It's you're practicing like Connor practicing before the Aldo fight. Like, impressive as it is, like that's the game plan. And this was fucking prediction from fucking Mystic Mastermind, like to a fucking second.
I know, dude. Like it was like. It like almost felt like unreal. I was just like, cause it's just like it was like so like crazy how on point it was. I was like, dude, that doesn't even like feel real. You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy because it's been like an ongoing thing between us. How like the predictions have been like so accurate and shit. But it's just like, dude, for like I think like the last thing like I called like so specific, like not so specifically, but kind of specific, like pretty like fairly like specifically, was the Jones Cormier knockout when I did my prediction on that for 214. And when like I called around and like the way John was gonna knock him out, and it's like pretty like similar, but like, dude, like this was like like exactly a description of what happened before it happened.
Dude, 100%. Like, to the second. Couldn't get any better. And I mean, like, realistically, about the fight, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. Like, pretty much everybody knows what happened. Like, give fucking Jorge the shot, you know? But the story about this fucking fight is your on-point prediction.
Oh, dude, like, yeah, man, like, yeah, we were talking off air, like, about how, like, it's just, dude, like, he needs to get the fucking shot, and it's just, like, just the fucked up shit that goes on behind the scenes that just, like, oh, dude, and actually, I meant to bring this up back then. We were talking about it before off air, but and then did you see? Did you see the part in Ben's interview where that he did with Ariel when he was saying that, yeah, dude, like basically Jorge's not getting the title shot because he didn't do the media, and like they're like, and he was like, oh, how are they gonna like really put someone behind, like give someone a title shot when they don't know that if they're gonna show up to promote it? And then I was like, dude, you know what? That actually probably is why Dana doesn't want to give him the shot, because it's like kind of like dealing with another Diaz brother in a sense, like, and it's like, dude, Dana likes the people that does what he wants when he's like, come here.
He likes the company, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, that's probably why fucking Askren, you know, even if he had won a boring ass fucking decision, would have gotten the title shot, because he would have cut a pretty decent promo. He shows up to the shit and he talks a lot of shit, which the shit talking is going to have a lot less of an appeal from here on out.
Oh yeah, dude, and like 100%. But like, I love how like we were talking about the interview off air too. It's just like how much we respect it. But I love how like how Ben was saying like, yeah, dude, I'm still gonna be talking shit like.
Well, you know, I mean, it's just for him going forward, like, it's one of those things that's like, is that going to ruin your confidence to shoot? You know, like, but then, like, the way he said, he's like, you know, it's something that's worked for me, you know, this far, you know, I'm undefeated and it's always worked, you know, so, like, why wouldn't I have thought that it was going to work? Which
is a really, like, illogical way of looking of things, in my opinion, because it's like, Ben, like, I get how that can make sense to you, Ben, but like when you look at it, it only worked outside of the UFC, really. And when you look at it, the moment you hit the UFC, you faced massive adversity. You know what I mean? Like literally, like the second you like started in the UFC, you faced
dude, 100%. It's like how Colby Covington said that CM Punk has more cage time and 2 less KOs than Ben Askren does. And dude, just think of like the domination he's had through his career and the amount of time he's actually spent in the cage and the amount of adversity and just fucking sheer ass kicking he's got while in the cage. And I bet he doesn't have, probably not more than a minute in the cage.
100%.
And it's been like the worst he's ever gotten his ass beat in his entire career.
It's crazy, like, because like when like it's so crazy how like certain things could just like shift perception when you frame it, because it's like when you frame it that way, like when Kobe said that, I was like, damn, he's actually accurate, like that's literally a fact. And it's like, wow. But like, I mean, I feel like literally Ben did exactly what he needed to do to not have his career be dead, and it's just like be like an incredibly like I don't even know the word to use. Like, honestly, I'm just gonna borrow your terminology when you described it, and because you're like, dude, he just handled that shit like a motherfucking gangster, dude. Like, that shit was just like such like high level boss shit, facing it head on, and literally like that's really the only way you could make it through it, like career wise. Otherwise, people are just gonna fucking not like no pun intended, fucking roast the fuck out of him. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Well, not only that, man. Like his next fight, he has to have a finish.
Oh, 100%.
Like to keep any momentum of like popularity or like intrigue alive at all, like he has to have an early finish.
100%. Like, yeah, he definitely can't just like in his next fight, like say he fights like I don't know, like a Neil Magny or like a Ponzinibbio or someone like that, like someone in the top like 15 but lower ranked.
Oh my god, dude, Ponzinibbio would fuck him up, man.
I know.
Could you imagine that, dude? Like that's a bad matchup for Askren.
I know, but like just say like someone that just like let's say like
that's who he needs to fight though. Like if you're gonna be in the UFC, like there shouldn't be anybody you're not willing to fight for any reason.
Exactly.
You know, like, the UFC is to see who's the best of the best. Like there should like obviously there should never be any picking matchups or like dude, at some point you're gonna have to fight them anyways. So fucking fight them. Like what does it matter if it's not good for you right now? Like by the time you get to the UFC, you should already be at the level where you can take on anybody.
Exactly, dude, and like yeah, no, 100%. Like that's what like really the UFC is, like what it's made for. You know, it's just like that's like the culture of the UFC. Like you have to fight anybody and everybody at any time, and like you got to fight the best. Like regardless, doesn't matter. Like we're not gonna. It's not boxing. We're not gonna like stop like help you out at all, really. And like you got to earn everything that like you have and get. You know, so like. But like, just say like if he just gets a win over like a guy like that in like a very lackluster, neutralizing like performance, just like get a dominant position, neutralize them for 15 minutes. Yeah, dude, like it's not gonna do much because honestly, like the whole allure to Ben Askren is he like we're I think it was off air when we were talking about like how the whole conversation before he got in the UFC is like, oh, what if he's in the UFC? Oh, it's like everyone's the best, like everyone says he's the best in the world, like how would he be against the champ and shit? Like, how would he do in the UFC? And when you see that shit and like the Lawler thing, like yeah, like controversial or not, like fucking like the fact that like it did show that he's tough and like he can like he has heart and can rally and he did get to show his skill by the wrestling and scrambling and those things like that. And but like the whole allure to the thing of, oh, is he gonna be the best? We already know, like no, but like the fact of the matter is, it's like, all right, now you can't, because the whole thing was the precipice of Ben being the best is Ben being the best because of his wrestling on some like Horace Gracie type shit. Now that's gone.
Yeah, like when that O disappeared from his record like that, because he doesn't have an exciting style. Like he doesn't move like he doesn't have like a fluid-looking movement, you know. He doesn't have like a UFC product movement level, if you know what I mean.
No, I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like even I wanted to bring this up like earlier. And did you see the part? I don't know if this was part of the post-fight show when Ariel was talking to Paul Felder, and like Paul Felder is like, yeah, because they're out of Rufus Sports, so they train together. And Paul's like, honestly, dude, like keeping it real, he needs to change his training because like he doesn't really spar. Like he needs to get sparring in.
Yeah, well, that brings back to what we were just saying a little bit ago. Like you can't expect to be in the UFC and just be a one-dimensional athlete.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. Because we were talking about that off air. Yeah, let's touch on that now. Because like, dude, exactly what you were saying, bro. Like just to set you up, we were talking about how like it just kind of like those specialist days are coming to an end, and just say what you're saying. then.
Yeah, basically what you're saying, like, like we're really at a time now where the days of a true specialist are kind of coming to an end. Like the talent level is getting to be such a point where people are coming into the sport, training MMA, like training everything. So it's coming to the point where you can't just make it on just wrestling or just striking. Like you're gonna win fights, absolutely, but you're not gonna make it to the title by being a specialist at this point. Like that era is essentially coming to an end. As the sport's evolving, that it's just not going to be feasible much longer. And we're seeing it right now. Like this is when it's happening.
Dude, 100%, and like, yeah, it's gonna be like the beginning of the era of true mixed martial artist, where you have to be high level at every single aspect, or like you're not gonna be able to compete at all. Like,
yeah, and it's gonna. I mean, there'll always be like favorable styles. But you're always gonna have to have that backup. Like a Valentina Shevchenko, where she has just such an elite high level striking, but really an elite high level ground game as well.
dude, like 100%. Like she's such a good example of like someone who's like very well rounded, and like, yeah, man, like that shit is fucking crazy. And I mean, like, honestly, since we're talking about Valentina Shevchenko, that's like a really good transition to start talking about fucking Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes. Amanda Nunes, the greatest fucking woman fighter of all time, undisputed.
Dude, and I don't disagree with a lot of people that are saying like she should be in the talks for just flat out greatest fighter of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's literally been nobody in the sport that has done what she's done.
Right?
And yeah, I mean, especially in women's, like, it's not even a question in women's MMA as far as I'm concerned. Like, she is the greatest of all time. She took out every fucking champion that there's ever been. She took out the scariest person of all time. She took out Chris fucking Cyborg, who the inaugural champion, JDR, vacated the title to not fight Chris Cyborg for whatever reason. But she vacated the title to not fight Chris Cyborg. She knocked her out. She knocked out Ronda Rousey, who was always said to be the greatest of all time. The whole argument with her is she did it first. Is she really the greatest of all time? No, but she has her place in the books. But she's not the greatest of all time. She got her fucking head knocked off by the greatest of all time.
Dude, she's literally the Royce Gracie of the women's MMA. Ronda Rousey.
Dude, yeah, 100%. Like, like, her spot in the records will always be there. Like, for what she did at the time when she did it, it can't be matched for, like, the effect and everything that it had, But, dude, Amanda fucking Nunes. No, right, that's what my dad said. He's like, no, this shit ain't even fair, dude. She needs to be fighting in the men's division.
Right, dude. She'd probably fuck up a lot of the guys, honestly. Like,
dude, could you imagine her versus Max?
Oh my gosh, that'd be wild.
I think it would be a fight,
bro. Honestly, I feel like in the cage, dude, she might even like when they're standing next to each other, like. She might even look a bit bigger than Max, like size-wise, like you know what I mean, like shoulder width and like the meat of like the muscles and shit, like.
Dude, I honestly, maybe like I don't want to sound like Joe Rogan, like, oh, Ronda could knock out Floyd, dude. Let's take a knock Floyd out, but like, she could put a hand on Max.
Dude, like, I mean, like Amanda Nunes, honestly, like her. Like, when you look, like, dude, she's got wins over Valentina Shevchenko. Fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, everyone else. Yeah, exactly.
Look at her in her new division. Like, dude, there's nothing for her.
And, like
that division's not even competitive.
It's really not, dude. It's almost like in the same position that 45's in. And it's fucking crazy, dude. To knock out Holly Holm, bro, like fucking the last
Never been knocked out. Knocked her out with her own shit.
Right, dude. The only time I can remember like Holly Holm being knocked out was that Sophie Mathis one, the Sophie Ann Mathis fucking knockout, where like that shit was pretty brutal. But fucking besides that, dude, MMA, she wasn't getting touched at all, dude. Like in the sense of getting like clipped really, or like even like dropped hard or any like. I think the most trouble, like the most rocked we've seen her, if I'm not mistaken, was the fucking Duran to me after the bell shots.
Yeah, the shots that she wasn't even expecting to be taken.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's fucking like, and to knock her out, this is like on some Jon Jones type shit. Like I'm gonna take you out the way you fight. Like how like Jon would like out chael and do shit like that. Like
yeah, 100%. I mean, dude, like, and the way that she like set it up and read it and shit, and like, you know, it was really odd. Like the way, who knows? Like maybe Holly had some sort of an injury or something. Like she did not move like she always moves. Like she didn't fight like she normally fights. Like there's definitely like a difference, you know.
Yeah, it was kind of like, yeah, like,
and it could have been game plan, you know, like it very well could have been game plan, but I don't know why your game plan would be to stand in front of Amanda.
Yeah, and she looked like really like, she looked like a lot more skinnier at weigh-ins, like way leaner.
Dude, 133 and a half.
Yeah, exactly, and she weighed in like a lot leaner, and it was like, I don't know, like maybe it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe something happened, but I don't know, dude. Like, it might be. Yeah, like Dana said, like, it might be the time for Holly to hang it up, but, like, she could, like, keep going, but, like, it's not like it. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, like, she could be competitive for a while longer. Like, at least, like, a few more fights, like, competitive. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, champion level fights, but she could, I mean, I guess you don't really want an injured career being a gatekeeper. I'm not saying that she would be, but, like, it'd be those kind of fights, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and she could probably win the majority of them, you know? But in championship level fights, like, her recent record isn't very good.
I know, dude. And it's kind of crazy because, like, honestly, like, I never expected it to be this way, but, like, think about, like, right after she lost to Misha, and she was like, no, I'm going to get back. I don't want to be remembered just as the girl that beat Ronda Rousey, a one-hit wonder. And it's like, damn, like, it kind of is that way. Like,
yeah, it really is. Like, she's, you know, like, she's almost like the Frankie Edgar of the men, like, where they, like, they're like that one person they just get, it seems like they get title shot after title shot. Like, they get multiple chances, whereas, like, some people never even, like, they work so hard. Like, Tony Ferguson, 12-fight win streak, fucking can't get a title shot. Whereas, like, those guys are, like, Frankie almost seems like they're, like, giving him every opportunity to have a two-way championship, you know?
Dude, like,
not that he's not deserving, I'm not saying that, but, like, like, you know, those kind of fighters that win one fight and automatically get right back in there, you know, or some fighters got, you know, like, they don't even get the rematch, or, you know.
No, dude, like, you pretty much, like, said that perfectly and drew a perfect parallel. Like, that's 100%, like, how it is. And, damn, dude, like, I guess it's time to start talking about that main event, man. This is going to be an interesting one.
Dude, I think we both kind of had a feeling Jon was going to get caught. Because, like, you told me you thought that was going to happen. Like, I just kind of had this feeling, man. Like, I was just waiting for it, you know? Like, dude, my fucking heart was beating a little faster and shit. Like dude, this is the night. Like, I just feel like it's going to happen, you know? It's like, it almost seems like had Thiago not injured himself, then, like, what could have happened?
Dude, like, I was actually talking to, like, someone about this earlier, like, a little bit in depth. We were talking about it, and, like, they were saying, like, they're saying like well, even before I get into that, like I guess I gotta say some other stuff to like set up to that. But yeah, like I mean, I feel like there's like a lot of different ways you could look at this fight, a lot of different perceptions, like on a micro and like macro scale, and just like there's so much to look. But honestly, from like, all right, just like not just but not before we get into like the whole like picograms and like steroid aspect of it on Jon's performances. Before we get into that aspect of it, I was just saying, I feel like Jon is just one of those guys where he needs to have like he needs to fight like the top of the top to bring out like the best performances in him, because otherwise like in these fights that he's supposed to win, like in the fights, because like now he's at a point where he's going to people, you know what I mean? People aren't really working their way to Jon. He's just going to like whoever it has a little bit of momentum to him. And it's like when you look at the OSP fight, the Anthony Smith fight, and now this fight, it's like in all the fights, Jon is just like has everything to lose and nothing really to gain, because if he wins, it's what's supposed to happen. And he's expected to have like in these fights, he like because of the mismatch of skill, perceived mismatch, everyone expects Jon's supposed to smoke them, right? But it's like there's too much to lose, so he doesn't really take any risk. And I was telling you how like Jackson Wink is now going towards more of a Firas Zahabi philosophy of fighting the smarter fight, and like just like more of like the safer fight. Like that's their more of the thing, is just like safety. And when you see that, because Thiago was proven to be so dangerous, and Jon really couldn't do much because him coming forward is leaving him exposed to getting caught. So like to minimize the risk, you had like the fight that we got, which is like a super technical chess match where like feints and foot placements and like, you know, the way you walk them down and like cutting those angles of walking them down and distance management is really the majority of what's going on in the fight. It's like those things. It's just like, bro, like this is literally a fight that you could argue that like you really could argue and score it for Thiago. And it's like, bro, like this could, like, people really like can consider this Jon Jones' first loss, like if they want to look at it that way. And it's like, bro, like when you look at like how this fight played out to like how his other conceivable loss or perceived loss in Gustafsson, the first fight, went out, is like, oh, speaking of it, dude, it's so crazy how the Gus fight was in a split decision one, and this was, you know, like this was a split decision.
Like, think of it as like how close the fight was, and I don't think of it as like how close the Henry Cejudo DJ fight was. Like, dude, I really thought like I was so unsure of what the decision was going to be. I was like, dude, this could be how he loses it. Like, holy fuck. Like, one guarantee, you know for a fucking 100% fact that he'll get his rematch immediately.
Yeah.
Like, they'll keep him in the final.
And I was like, it was so crazy because like during like the decision, I was like, bro, this is so crazy because like I never, ever, 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 every time I like envisioned if like Jon Jones' reign were to end, it would be in a way where he either gets caught and just knocked out, or it's a fight like it almost plays out how like Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz did, where like he's like doing good and then there's a shift in momentum and then he just gets his ass kicked. Like I always thought that's how he'd lose, and like I would never thought he would lose like DJ in like such a lackluster type fashion, you know, like in just like a really decision.
It really could have been the time, dude. Like, he was like really lucky because a lot of people do think he lost that fight. Like, I could see it either way. Like, it doesn't bother me either way. You know, it's what you expected to happen. And really, like, moving forward, it's good for both guys. You know, like, Thiago didn't lose a fucking thing in that fight, you know, or from that fight. If anything, he gained a shit ton of fucking respect. You know, and not very many people take Jon the distance. And, like, if you even, like, look at the difference between how Jon fought him and Anthony Smith, like, Jon was a lot more open with Anthony Smith, like, a lot less conservative, and threw a hell of a lot more. Like, he really respected the fuck out of Thiago.
Yo, dude. And, like, another thing is, like Jon was saying, bro, like, I remember, like, a couple months ago when he was just talking, like, doing an interview, he was saying, like, yeah, I know Thiago's gonna do, like, a lot of Muay Thai, and I'm expecting him to throw, like, a lot of leg kicks. And he's like, because everyone talks about my skinny legs, so I know he's going to attack my legs a lot. So I'm working on checking kicks a lot. And, like, I didn't see that at all in the fight, bro. He was not really checking kicks.
No, I think he started to later, you know, from what I remember. But, yeah, like, the ones that really count, those early ones, that are just full of fucking, just full power, like, no, he didn't check those. But, you know, how good is Jon at not showing injury during the fight? Like, moving 100% normal during the fight. And then after, like, as soon as the fight's done, dude, he's fucking limping around and shit. You know, like, dude, his game face is impeccable.
Dude, 100%, bro. Like, yeah, man, for, like, to not be able to walk, like, he was looking good. Like, yeah, no, 100%, dude.
Or even, like, his awareness. So, like, when he got hit and got his mouthpiece knocked out, like, man, I think he was rocked a little bit. Like, he kind of, like, just kind of sauntered around, like, laughing it off, kind of. But I think that was kind of him, like, taking his time, clearing his wits a little bit. Like, damn, dude, I just got popped good.
Yeah, dude, you might actually be right. And, like, dude, he's got a fucking chin on him, though.
Dude, like, he took some shots, man. Like, that's one thing, like, through all the times, like, all of the fights, dude, like, he took some heavy, and he's never really been tittled. Like, really, really tittled, you know?
100%. The sound got, like, it's a little hard to hear you.
Is it? Can you hear me better now, though?
When you said "is it," it sounded a lot better, and then started, like, fading again.
How about now?
All right, yeah, that's better. But yeah, dude, and like, and another thing I was saying is that, like, the thing is, like, Jon has, like, everything to lose in this matchup, and the thing is, Thiago has absolutely nothing to lose, because, like, he's been knocked out before. He got knocked out by David Branch before. He's been there. He's come back from it, and he's fighting the greatest of all time. That, like, no one's expecting him to win. No one's giving him a shot. He literally has nothing to lose from it, and everything to gain. Yeah. He's got everything to gain. So he could go for broke, and you saw him, like, just sending it, dude.
Yeah, and I'd really be interested to find out, like, was that a previous knee injury? Like, did it just pop out again type of thing? Or, like, has that been something that they've been dealing with throughout the training camp? You know? Dude, how fucking impressive is that? Like, dude, this video, like, you can literally see his knee poking.
Yeah, dude. And, I mean, according to Jon in the post-fight press conference, Jon said that happened when he checked a kick. But I don't know how true that is. I never went back to go, like, look and verify that. But, like, yeah, dude, just to have your knee be that fucked up and be that dangerous and just keep fucking sending it is just, like, that just shows, like, the heart of a champ.
Yeah. It's almost one of those matchups that Thiago more than deserves to be the champion and has the skills to be so. But you just have this dominant factor of Jon Jones at the top of the mountain, you know, that, like, really the distance between him and everybody else is just almost just so far, almost like a Shevchenko or a Nunes, or, you know, like, who's going to beat these people?
Yeah, dude, it's like... It's one of those things where, like, yeah, I feel like if they keep doing this type of shit where they're giving, like, Jon is just going to contenders, like, if he fights, like, a Dominic Reyes or, like, a Johnny Walker, like, if he keeps going down, like, this, like, kind of, like, shit, I feel like it's more likely to happen. I feel like that like we're more likely to see him get caught and like get taken out. But I feel like if we start seeing him like you know, say who the winner fight the winner of DC Stipe for the heavyweight title, and like then I feel like boom, we're gonna get back like that like crazy performance Jon Jones. And like another thing, like I mean I didn't like I was gonna talk about like different stuff a little bit more about Jon, but like we gotta address it. No picograms in the testing, and he's performing like that. Doesn't really help his case of innocence for people that want to frame it that way.
It doesn't at all. It really doesn't at all. Like, there's a lot of factors that you could argue, like the dangerousness of Thiago, and you know, there's a lot of things, but dude, it's a strong argument to make.
And like, as much as like, even if you want to defend it, like you can't really argue with it just because of like, purely because of like the facts of the matter and the aesthetics. Because when you look at it, it's like even if like you like even if you like take like my view about it of like, oh, it's like the ones he's supposed to win, he doesn't do much because there's a lot to lose. But like if I make that argument, then like you frame it, and then you look at the OSP fight and you're like, well, he was clean then and he looked bad. And you look at the DC fight where he knocked DC out and then he popped dirty for that fight, you know? And then fucking the fights that he's not like popping for, it's and I mean, even if they want to make the argument, they could talk about the picograms for the Gus fight. So it's like literally the fights where there was like no picogram issues, where it was the Smith and the Thiago fight and the OSP fight, which are like fairly like OSP and Anthony Smith are dominant performances, but they're not like up to the Jon Jones legendary standard that he set on his run. But like when you look at especially this last one, man, like where you could literally argue that he lost the fight, and like, oh, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I mean, I guess like for me, I guess I'd just say like, we'll see what the future brings, you know, because there's so many different like arguments towards it, you know, like you could say in the OSP fight, like he was weightlifting before, you know, so he was heavier than normal, you know, that could be, I mean, like the Anthony Smith fight, like maybe Anthony Smith is a lot better than what we're all giving him credit for, type of thing, you know, which I really think so. Like, I think Anthony Smith is a lot better than how, like, at least the peers of the UFC see him, you know, like, I don't know. I guess we'll just wait and see, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on, because it definitely does not look good for him.
I know, right, dude? Like, it's fucking, it's crazy, but like, I mean, yeah, I feel like we gotta address it, because it's kind of like, you know, people are gonna be talking about it, you know what I mean? So, and like you said, dude, like, these are just like such thing that it's just like so complicated, and like you can look at it at so many different lenses and like so many different kind of perceptions, and like it's just one of those things where like there's never gonna be a consensus about it, you know? It's just always gonna be,
because I mean, there's always the fact, like, he definitely popped.
Yeah.
And for some fucking strange reason, he got preferential treatment, still got a fucking fight.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's kind of like what we were talking about the other day. It's like, man, how fucked up is it that Dana White will, like, how he kind of like picks and chooses how he handles certain things. Like, it's almost the same situation, but he handles it in night and day different ways, you know? Whereas, like, he'll do anything to keep Jon Jones as champion, keep Jon Jones on the card. You know, Sean O'Malley essentially has the same thing going on, and he can't fight, but somehow Jon Jones was still cleared, and they moved the fucking card for him. You know, like, it's just, I get it. I mean, I guess if you're Jon Jones, it's good to be the champ, but, you know, for some other champions that, like you were saying, like T. Wood, like, he fought how many times in a year, defended his title how many times in a year. He was out for a couple months, and they fucking threw up an interim title.
Right. And then now...
And now Kamaru's not even fighting.
And you heard what Dana said at the post-fight press conference, right?
Oh, yeah. We'll see. Yeah. Like, not in any hurry for that, you know? Like, when it's like, it was almost one of those things, like, they had to give Tyron the title, and they really didn't think he would win, but he did, and then he fucking, like, held on to it, so, like, they were, like, almost forcing him matchups to try to get him beat.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they were trying to, like, stack the deck against him, but he kept, like, coming through.
Like, how the fuck are you going to want Damian Maia to be the champion?
Right? At that point, they were just like, we want anybody to beat him.
Yeah. Like, we think he can do it. Fuck it. We'll get him beat in his next fight. No big deal.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then they're like, yeah, and then we're just going to do the same thing to him after that. Yeah, 100%, dude. It's crazy, man, just how, like, the bias and, like, how Dana could just do what he wants. But, like, I guess, like, you can't say shit because, like, that's what it is, you know? Like, there's really nothing anybody can do about it until, like...
Oh, dude, it's a straight-up dictatorship.
No, 100%, dude. Like,
it's a dictator monopoly, like, through and through 100%.
yeah, dude. And, like, yeah, no, like, and, yeah, we were, like, talking, like, texting the other day, and I was saying, like, yeah, dude, if I was the fighter, I would literally hate to work and fight for the UFC because of that bullshit. I'd, like, much rather fight at Bellator because, dude, Scott Coker is a cool-ass motherfucker, dude. Like, when I was talking to him, like, that other day, dude, like, he was, like, a really, like, genuinely, like, nice, chill guy.
Well, like, think about it for some fighters, like, for some fighters that are never going to quite make the top, right? And let's say that they might only get 5 fights in the UFC. All right, so that's 5 fights off your career. And what you would have made for those 5 fights under the Reebok deal and the initial contract and all that, which for certain people can be good. Let's just say a regular person who gets, like, kind of in the middle. Dude, I'd almost guarantee you that they would do better off financially because this is just your job, you know? Like, you're going to do better financially with sponsors and your Bellator payouts than you probably would being in the UFC, you know? It's just such a hard choice because, you know, like, if you're in the UFC and you reach the top, like, that's the greatest thing ever, but you might not reach the top, and you kind of just threw away all that money as sponsors and everything that you could have had going with Bellator.
100%, dude. And plus, like, it's a lot more, like, fairer in the sense of you're not dealing with, like, the dictator Dana White, you know?
Yeah, it's like ran how you would wish the UFC was ran. Like,
100%.
The rightful contender fights the champion at the time, and like, there's no, like, safe gimme fights to keep the champion as champion, and not really that there are in the UFC either. Shouldn't say that, but
no. I would want, like, honestly, dude, like, if Dana White ever leaves the UFC, I would want Scott Coker to take it over. Imagine that, dude.
Oh, dude. Dude, just the fucking, and not that Dana White doesn't, because Dana White has clearly brought some fucking just straight up savage killers into UFC. But Scott Coker's eye for talent, dude, that guy has an eye for talent that's, like, second to none in my opinion. Because just look at, like, so many of the stars in the UFC right now were originally found by Coker.
And dude, like, and the, like, not, like, dude, 100%. And, like, when you listen to everybody that's dealt with Scott Coker, bro, they have nothing but great things to say about him.
Yep. Yeah, you never hear anybody talk about him trying to fuck their wife, or, like, they got released out of the contract because he wanted to fuck his wife and kind of shut it down. Or
it's like Dana came over for dinner and I didn't leave and he got mad at me, so I didn't leave my own house so he could bang my wife, so he released me from the UFC.
Yeah. He made me fight. I'm a middleweight, and he made me fight Stipe for the title.
No, like, dude, he wouldn't even give me a title shot. He made me fight Francis for the title eliminator.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, man, like, fucking, yeah, dude, an incredible card overall. I only tuned in once the main card started, so I didn't catch, like, any of the other fights, but dude, that fucking main card, though.
Dude, I caught a little bit, like I was doing some shit, but I had him on, you know?
Yeah.
That dude, God, I forget his name now, dude. We got Alejandro, no, fuck, I forget his name.
Oh, you
I
texted
think
me
that's
about it.
Bryce.
Yeah.
Dude, he got knocked cold, dude. It was impressive. And then, dude, I was so pissed because I was watching the Gilbert Allen fight, and I, like, something was lagging, or I don't know what the hell happened, but then all of a sudden, like, it's at the end of it, and, like, I didn't see the decision or anything, and, like, what the fuck just happened here?
I know. It's fucking, I know. Sometimes.
But yeah, dude, fucking what a great card. It was like we were talking, like, it's just like one of those cars that just, like, keep you buzzing, you know?
Yeah, man. Like, and like, it's just like that fucking, that the gift that keeps on giving. Because, like we're talking about how, like, we stay up, watch all the post fight shit. And, like, it's like, bro, like, you have this amazing fight. You're hyped on it. You're still hyped on it on Sunday. And then Monday you get, like, all the interviews and the content that just, like, add and elaborate and just, like, on the aftermath of it. So it's just like, you have so much.
And Khabib and fucking Diaz got into a fucking scuffle.
Oh shit, I forgot about that. Yeah, and then fucking them saying that they want Diaz next after Poirier.
Yeah, because that makes so much sense in the division.
Right? Like Tony Ferguson over here. No. Let's get Diaz, whose current fight is booked at welterweight.
Yeah, exactly.
And the crazy thing is, if Khabib beats Poirier, Diaz will probably get that title shot.
Yeah, dude. If they don't give Tony Ferguson the title shot, dude, I might just, like, 100% stream fights from now on. Fuck UFC, ESPN Plus.
Right, dude. Like,
I ain't gonna quit watching this shit. I'm too big of a fan, but I'll definitely stop paying for any of it.
No, 100%, dude. Like, no, we were always just, like, streaming shit and, like, got on, like, ESPN shit. But yeah, dude, if they, like, fuck over their shit, like, I'm like, actually, I'm not gonna say I would cancel ESPN Plus because they're partners with PFL and stuff like that. But if I were to speak hypothetically, I would say, yeah, I would fucking stream that. Like, stream the fuck out of that. Like, honestly, keeping it real, dude, the only reason why I signed up for ESPN Plus, like, back in March is because I was always streaming shit. And then during the Masvidal Till fight, the stream was fucking up because, like, Reddit blew up so much that, like, everybody knew about it and everyone knew how to stream fights because of Reddit. And then, like, and then I was watching the Masvidal fight after with Till. The first round happened, and then the stream stopped. And then by the time, like, as soon as, like, I got the stream back on, the fight's over, and then I'm watching the replay of Till getting knocked out, and I was just so fucking mad I missed it. And then I was like,
that's what happened to me on fucking the holm Nunes fight Saturday.
Oh my gosh, dude, I've been so
like,
tight.
I got it right on as they're, like, showing the replay. So, like, I got to see, like, the initial replay. So, like, I got it back on, like, literally, like, seconds after, you know?
Yeah, dude. And then after that, I was like, bro, like, Plus is $5 a month. Like, let me just try it so I don't have to deal with this bullshit. But after fucking Shab, like, the shit snitched on that shit and, like, shut down Reddit, dude. Like, a lot of people don't know where to go watch it. And, like, now the streams are fucking fire. But actually, no, there are no more streams because we don't want more people.
There are no more streams. They fucking suck.
They don't exist.
Yeah, I had to buy the first pay-per-view, and for some reason it kept cutting out because my Wi-Fi sucked.
Yeah, there's no more streams. They don't exist.
No more streams. Yeah. Can't find them nowhere.
All right,
I read it. I don't know what to do.
I know. I think we got to a point where we're only hurting ourselves right now. Oh man, but yeah, dude, fucking incredible ass card, incredible fights, dude. Fucking Jorge Masvidal, dude, that shit was wild.
Dude, it's such an awesome replay to watch because you can, like, watch it 10 times in less than a minute.
Right, dude. I've been watching that shit so much, just try to, like, analyze it from different angles, like just, like, look at what Ben's doing, why Ben, like, put his head down when he did, like. it's just like, dude, just be watching, and it's just so crazy, dude. I saw that shit a lot. Like, it's just been popping up, like, you know what I mean, especially on social media and stuff.
Dude, I've always saw that as a technical error in, like, any fighter. You know, like, it's so common that a guy will go in for a flying knee, and the initial instinct in so many guys is to duck their head. Like, that's why there's quite a few flying knees. Like, Aaron Pico's a good example. Like, for whatever reason, like, guys will just have this instinct to duck their head into it. Like, dude, you'd be so, like, taking it in the body's gonna hurt too, but like when you see that coming, like if you sidestepped or like even created more distance back, it'd be so much better than fucking ducking into it. Because even worst case scenario, it doesn't land on your in your head. Like you could break your collarbone or like it's gonna fuck you up. Like ducking into it, it's the worst idea. And like your momentum going in.
Yeah, dude. I think it's just one of those things. Because honestly, like. When I watched that 10-second flying knee at PFL, I was like in person watching it, and like it took like a little bit for like it took like a couple seconds, like maybe like 1 to 2 seconds to like literally be like, holy shit, like process what I just saw, you know what I mean? And I could only imagine just like how quick that shit happens, like when you're inches away from the knee. I think it just happens too fast for people to really react properly to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like a lot of it, like if you have like somebody like stand in front of you and kind of mimic it, you know, like when they lunge at you, it's coming at you so fast, and like the angle, like you're not really seeing, like you don't see the raise as much as you're seeing like the distance closing. You know, so like a lot of times your initial instinct is to duck, to shoot, you know, like to get under, you know.
I mean,
just based on kind of the way. That's how I've always seen it, anyway.
No, I think you pretty much like said it exactly right there. It's just like the problem is people aren't training for it enough. You know what I mean? They're not training defenses for it enough because like.
Dude, 100% because it's dangerous as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Even just to practice, you know, like. It's such a dangerous fucking technique.
100%, dude. And yeah, man, like it's pretty fucking crazy because like, yeah, like because it's like how can you train for like you gotta like pretty much like get as close as you can to simulate it without actually doing it. But you need.
Just think like how lucky Askren is. Like think of when Cyborg Santos got
my
by
gosh.
fucking Page. Like that landed like center, fucking dead center,
dude.
like. And if you listen back to the replay, you can hear the connection when Jorge, like, when he knees him in the head, like, when it connects, you know? Like, you can hear it, dude. It sounds like a baseball bat. And he's so lucky it kind of grazed off the side of his head. Like, just think of the power, like, what it would have done, dude. Like, 100% cracking his shit.
Yeah, dude. That shit is fucking crazy.
It's kind of amazing, like, in the interview with Ariel that Ben's face really doesn't even look like he's been in a fight.
Yeah, no, I was like looking, and I was like, is his lip swollen? Like it kind of looked a little swollen, but you couldn't really tell. I was like, damn, dude, to like for someone like that just like went through what he went through, like he doesn't really look like he was even in a fight. Really, that shit's pretty crazy.
No, yeah, he's suspended for a long time, but other than that.
I was like, I like that. Literally, that same thought ran through my head. I was like, damn, dude, like he really like, because I was trying to like look at the damage, because like I remember at the beginning of the interview, like what had me like looking at that is because I think in the beginning of the interview, I think he was like eating something or chewing on something, and his voice was really weird. But I thought
Not
like
to interrupt you, but Luke Rockhold won't be doing any chewing for a while. So.
Oh shit, yo, you did like the verbal equivalent of like Masvidal's after the knockout punches. You're like, no, it was super necessary. Why was it not necessary, John Morgan? It was super necessary.
It's super necessary. You should be covering soccer, pussy.
Right, dude? Like, that shit is fucking... Oh, my gosh. That was
like, all right, as long as we're talking about this, I think I had thought about this earlier and forgot to say it, but, like, when you used to look at the finish of Bisping and Dan Henderson, like Dan Henderson made that flying logo like his logo, right?
Yeah.
And that shit was like so praised upon and everything, you know? And like, dude, that was the same fucking thing. That's probably even more vicious, you know? Like, or look at, dude, damn near every Jeremy Stevens finish KO ends with some shit like that. Like, look at when he knocked out Ryan Jason. Dude, he head kicked him, fucking just brutal as fuck. Same with Marcus Davis. You know, like the list goes on and on and on. You know, and then all of a sudden, because it's Ben Askren, like, oh, that was unnecessary. It's because he's got a bunch of casual ass fans.
I know, dude. It's like, I know, right? Like, how the fuck are you saying? Like, I know, dude. It's crazy. Like, to like even frame that it's unnecessary. All about perception, dude. Oh, cause they have beef. And da. He wanted to get as much in as he can. All about perception and framing. That's like what this whole game, dude. Even the fucking when I was telling you, like when I went to the media day with the whole fucking Dylan Dennis and the belt situation, like people like just how they present things, you know, like.
Oh, 100%. And like, dude, that was like the thing I was saying the whole time. It's like, you're 100% telling me, like, it was no big deal. It was just, like, a quick photo, just fucking around, no big deal. And then, like, they completely blow it into this huge fucking thing, you know? Like, Dylan Dane is trying to be double, you know? Like, whatever the shit they want to talk about it. But that one that you sent me was fucking hilarious. When you order something on Amazon and then when it arrives.
Oh, yeah. The fucking memes are great, bro. Oh my gosh, dude, these fucking dude, the memes that came after this night, dude, on Saturday, they're fucking hilarious.
Oh, dude, yeah, some of that shit you send me just fucking die laughing.
Bro, the one I sent you this morning of like waking up this Monday morning after having like 3 days off, and it's Luke Rockhold like waking up from the knockout.
He probably still don't know where he is.
Dude, and he's probably gonna be like we were talking over text that night. Like he's probably gonna be like, you know, they're just not on my level. It was an illegal kick. It was an illegal kick after the bell that disoriented me. It was because of that.
100%.
And he's gonna blame that.
I don't think it was at all, but.
Dude, and it's
you know what? It's almost like you talk and act the way that you act. And that kind of shit just slides. Like, I don't really see back of the head strikes.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, like...
You turned your head in. No, fuck you, Luke. You turned your head into it.
Yeah, no, 100% he did. And, like, it was thrown at the bell. So, like, it was a legal strike still. So, like, no matter how he tries to... Like, dude, fucking... When Edson Barboza wheel kicked Terry Edom, I'm sure, like, a good chunk of that heel hit the back of his head. Doesn't change shit. That's like a highlight, you know what I mean? Like fucking when Conor knocked out Poirier, honestly, bro, when Conor knocked out Poirier, that shit was actually illegal.
Dude, I've said that so many fucking times. 100%. And it was never even talked about.
I know, all the time.
Actually, all it was talked about is by Conor saying, like, it was that perfect well placed right behind the earshot.
Perception and framing.
Yeah.
He just framed it the way he wanted to. And he had the dictator
so many
Dana.
Head kick knockouts, like so many head kick knockouts, like the foot wraps around the neck and it hits the back of the head, like so many fucking times.
Probably
so many times on ground and pound, like when guys are just going off, or girls are just going off, like so many of those shots hit the back of the head.
Nah, dude, 100%. And honestly, with head kicks, like I wouldn't be surprised if more often than not that it hits the back of the head. You know, like.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, man, fucking, it's crazy, dude. Luke's career is like pretty much done. He's on the precipice of like Dana saying he should retire. He's saying Holly should retire. There's like a lot of like, kind of like really like definitive like career defining moments for people that night.
Yeah, and not just dude, no shit. And not just that, like, think of it like AKA as a gym, like, they kind of have Khabib left, like DC ain't going to be around for much longer, and if he beats Stipe, and they do make the Jon Jones fight, and Jon Jones whoops him again, like, he'll never fight again.
And Khabib doesn't even have that long either, because Khabib said
he's already talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. AKA is done, dude. I feel like Jackson Wink is kind of on the decline.
Yeah, dude. I think that there's gonna be like some like small type of gym, like it could be kind of like a city kickboxing, Israel's gym, like to be like the next kind of like big gym to like be kind of like a Jackson Wing type thing. I guess it kind of already is in a lot of ways, but like there's going to be something that's kind of small, unheard of, that's just going to kind of like pop up and start taking over, I think.
Yeah, you're probably right, dude. And like, yeah, it might be, because like, especially when they have people like someone like Izzy, who's like got so much momentum as he does now, it like attracts a lot of talent there. And like, I actually fucking saw Eugene Barrowman, the head coach of that, Izzy's head coach at fucking PFL the last time I was there.
Yeah, dude. Another thing that we got to think about too is like the future with the UFC making all these apexes and shit, and like these like, dude, the talent that they're gonna be preparing out of like China and Puerto Rico and Mexico,
man.
Like, dude, here's the thing that I think, and like I don't want to say this in any like disrespectful way, but I truly believe when you take people that like have grown up with nothing and give them an opportunity to like really make something for themselves, like that is, and they have the ability and the talent and shit, like at least the athletic ability, like the movement, like there's not going to be many of them, but a few will stand out. Like that is the hungriest, like best fighter you can create.
No, dude, you're 100% right. Like, Francis is a pretty good example of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, guys like that. But like, when you go into these markets like that, like, dude, you're gonna get like a flood of the like, dude, like the high level that's gonna stand out at places like this. I think that we're gonna see, and it's gonna be like that, kind of what we were talking about before, like the new era of like when they start learning, they're gonna learn everything together. So like their game's gonna be seamless. And like when you add all that together, like, dude, in 10 years, the game's gonna be at a level that's just fucking mind blowing.
Dude, 100%, like 100%. Like it's gonna be like honestly, like it might be to a point where like you might not even have like super reigning champions, Dude,
100%. Like. Yeah, it could definitely be to a point where, like, nobody is so dominant that anything could happen anytime.
Dude, 100%.
Like, a lot of, like, these, like, let's say, like, let's just say, like, rankings 5 to 15. Like, a lot of those fights, anybody could win at any given time. And they're but, like, think of it as, like, the entire division is that way, like, anybody could win at any time. Like 15 is technically right up there and as talented as 2 or 1. It's just that there has to be a number for each person.
Dude, 100%. Like it's gonna be like how like it's gonna be kind of like the whole UFC is gonna be kind of like how the lightweight division is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy, man. But yeah, bro, I feel like we covered the fuck out of UFC 239 right now, right? Like,
yeah, I think we covered, for a little bit of lost time,
right?
And really covered that shit in good depth and stuff, and 100.
All right, I feel like we got everything. So yeah, man. Yeah, you got anything? Anything you want to plug?
No, not really.
All right.
Mystic Mastermind.
Thank you, good sir. I appreciate that. Fucking yeah, dude. It's good. Like fucking, I always love chopping it up with you on the phone and shit like that. But fucking like, I mean, we're literally like always talking like text and shit. But like, it's just like it's like literally like this is just so much more like. What we're trying to do in texting is just we can't, you know what I mean? Cause it's just like, and we always send each other fucking books, like just paragraphs, because we have so much to say.
Yeah,
like,
dude, like I was thinking about it earlier. Like if we could just like make a video of a montage of our text, You know, it was like, dude, some of the like legit conversations we have that should be on air, like never even get discussed. You know.
All right, dude, like 100%. Yeah, but yeah, no, we're gonna keep the mafia is gonna keep showing up to collect. Like we're gonna keep doing this shit. But hell yeah, dude, fucking, I had a great time talking. We gotta fucking do some other shit. Is there a fight card coming up this weekend, like a UFC one?
Dude, I was thinking about that earlier. Like, I was so involved and still have been in the UFC 239 and like the post-fight and aftermath of it. I hadn't even thought about it.
All right, dude.
Like, I hadn't even looked into it. I think I want to say. I want to say either Aspen Ladd or Tanya Evinger has a fight coming up because UFC released one of their fights.
Oh,
And
you're right,
so
dude. I think it's
that they
fucking.
have, one of them is coming up.
I think it's that fucking Aspen Ladd Duran Durandamy fight
Oh,
in
fuck.
sec. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we're not gonna cover that. Maybe we'll talk about Faber, but like that's
Well,
it.
you never know. We might get lucky and Aspen Ladd might knock the fuck out of her. She's been pretty impressive coming up, so.
Yeah, but like she was kind of struggling in that. What was the Sajara Eubanks fight? The lad was
Yeah.
struggling in that. But yeah, definitely like we're. Anyway, yeah. Well, hopefully something else good's gonna be coming up soon. But yeah, all right, my man. We definitely gotta do
Well,
this soon.
for sure. Well, have a good one.
You too, my man. I appreciate the time and staying up late as shit to do this.
Oh, no problem, man. Fucking, I'm actually pretty wired, so. Fuck
Oh,
it.
perfect. All right, my guy. Have a great night.
All right, you too, bro.
All right, bro. Take it easy. Later. Yeah, man. So that was everything. I feel like we covered everything. Covered the fuck out of that real well. And yeah, I got my video that I'm gonna upload right now about me talking about Jorge and Ben. And you listen to this, so this is up here. You got more. I'm gonna have more videos coming, probably tomorrow. We can talk about different shit. You know what I mean? We got that consistency back, that momentum going, and you already motherfucking. Oh! I always forget to fucking say this, but I always mean to. Don't forget to fucking like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the motherfucking comments. And you already know it's Mastermind MMA.